Hello and welcome back. So, before we did for loops with integers, now we're going to be doing for loops but with strings. And to show this off, this is what the end result will look like. Run module, type a message below. And I just realized I typoed below wrong. So, I don't know, I'll just say, hello world. The first thing ever said on the internet. This is every single letter in the message. Hello world. This is the length of the message, 11. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Remember, that blank spot counts as a space. It's part of the length. This is the spot number 2 in your message. Remember, spot 0, spot 1, spot 2. So it was an L. This will check to see if there's a lowercase e. If a lowercase is in your message, lowercase e is in the message. Yeah, so if E is in message, it said that. So there we go. So that's how the end result would wind up looking like. So, and of course, actually one moment, let me make a different message that doesn't have a lowercase e just to prove that. So I'll just, run this module here again. And this time I'll say, type my message, I'll just say banana. Length of the message is 6, number 2 spots. Lowercase e is not in the message. See? So it does that. So, here we go. How do we start this? Well, first off, let's, do our normal thing of putting our name up there and whatnot. And I'll just name this, for loops mini project 2. And I'll give it a new line or 2. There we go. Nice little way to always start off. So, how we're going to start this is we're going to tell them that we need to print a message below. So, print a message below. There we go. So, we'll say something like that. And, then now, of course, we have to, make a message, right? And we're going to have to make that an input, right? So, I'll just name this message. And message is going to be an input, obviously, and I'll just, give them the question, which is, type a message here. And I'll give them a tab. There we go. So now whatever they type to that question will get stored in the message. You already know how to do this. So now I'm just going to showcase what each part of these programs can wind up doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, show you every letter. So this is every letter in the message. So if I were to do something like, for, and remember, we don't have to, actually name our variables before in a for loop, so I can name it right here. So I can just name this var x for whatever it is, and it's in message. So, however many var x's are in my message. Now, what is var x? This is going to default right here, if you're noticing. It's going to default to every single letter. So, let me just do a print var x here and showcase this off. Interactive mode, execute. So if I have, I have a lovely bunch of coconuts. I misspelled coconuts, that's okay. I have a lovely bunch of coconuts. You'll notice how it's doing each individual letter and each individual space. These are what are known as characters. A string, so this entire thing, this string, is made up of individual characters. 1 character, 2 character, 3 character, 4 character, 5 character, 6 character, 7 character, so on and so forth. So it's recognizing each and every single letter and space and numbers and symbols and anything else that I would have typed in here. It's recognizing those all as characters. So much like how integers and floats are both numbers, but they're different, characters and strings are different. A string is made up of multiple characters. So if you want to think of it as each individual spot inside your string is its own character. Think of it like that. So that's what's happening. Now then, that's the first thing we're going to do. Now, of course, the second thing is we're going to print the length of the message, right? So I'm just going to, showcase, this is the length of the message. Now, much like strings and much like strings and integers and whatnot, we can change stuff about characters as well. So this time, we're not even going to go into a for loop. What we're going to do is we're going to do we're going to check the length. So I could name this whatever it is I want. I'll just name it var y for right now, var y, and is going to be equal to len. That stands for length. So if I do length of my message, and remember, so whatever the length of my message is, it will take that number and store it right there inside my var y. Now I could have named this banana, I could have named it Jigglypuff, I could have named it whatever. And of course, if I were to simply print my var y, it'll go ahead and execute this, and it'll say, type of message below, cherry. And it has, here's every single thing, but then here's my length. It calculated it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in my length. Now, of course, let me execute this again, just to be on the safe side here. My name is Bob. Enter. Now, this time it says there's 14. So remember here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And remember, you start on 0, right? So we've got ourselves 14 things right here. It's counting those spaces. Those spaces are not empty. They're not none. They are an actual physical data point. They are the space button that was typed in, the space bar. They are data. So it's not going to count you every single letter. It's going to count you every single character. And that empty space was a character. So just making sure you recognize that when you're counting the length. If you want to only count every single letter and not the spaces, you're going to have to go and check to make sure that if, there is a space, to skip it. You're going to have to physically code that. We're not going to do that in this video, though. So now I will simply print, I don't know, what number do we want? The number 2 spot? Yeah, sure. This is the number 2 spot in your message. So now I'll, print, and this time it'll be, message, because remember that's the name of it, message. But I'm going to use my square brackets here, and inside my square brackets I'm going to put a 2 for spot number 2. And if I say, hello, and of course, what is the number 2 spot in my message? It's the L. Because remember, how do these things work? Spot 0, spot 1, spot 2. Even though it counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots, even though it says there's 5 spots, it's going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's still 5 total, but it starts at 0. So remember, your number 2 spot is actually the 3rd character you type. Your number 4 spot is actually the 5th character you type. The number 17 is actually the 18th, so on and so forth. So, just remembering that 0 is not nothing. Okay? So now we'll check to see if there's a lowercase e, okay? So print, and, this will check if lowercase e is in your message. So, once again, we can just, how would we check to see if something is in it? Oh, well, that's easy. If, and we're looking for a character, right? So if E is in message, we will print, lowercase e is in message. And of course, if lowercase e is not in the message, then, else, print, I don't know, it is not. Oh, I'll just even simplify it. It is not. There we go. Execute. So now if I say, hello world, it's printed everything out. This is the length of my message. This is the number 2 spot. Was E in your message? It is. Now let me just see here again. Let me execute this again. This time I'll say banana. And obviously, that's what it is. There's the length. There's the number 2 spot. And lowercase e is not in there. It is not. So this is all, we did a for loop, and then we just checked various different things that we can check because it's a string and not an integer. Now, obviously, you can still do the same thing with integers as well, like finding the second number or third number or fourth number that was typed in. You can check to see if a specific number is in the string, is in your number list. You can do that sort of stuff. But this is just more things that we can do with for loops. So once you have all this working, save it, submit it through the second mini project on this week, and I'll see you on Thursday, where we're going to start making some word slicer and some other kind of more functional things. We're going to do a val replacement program as well. So you have a great day, and I'll see you on Thursday.